Hey guys, I hope you had a great New Year's. Apologies if I look really pale right now. It's winter in Canada, and a lot of the videos I'm posting of me sitting down and talking in my apartment was during the summer, so don't be worried if you think I look incredibly malnourished and like I haven't seen the sun in months, because I mean, that's partially true, but it's also just because these videos are taken like 4 or 5 months apart in different seasons. Besides that, I thought it would be a good idea that we cover, or I reflect on some of my favorite movies, books, albums, and some of my favorite videos from 2021. And apologies if I mix up the dates and some of these things actually happened in 2020. It's all kind of a blur. But let's start with books. This video is sponsored by Klima. I'm from an area of the world that for the better part of 2021 has experienced a wake-up call regarding climate change. Whether it's devastating wildfires or flooding, now more than ever has it become apparent that climate change is a real and present threat. Of course, it's distressing to absorb terrible climate news 24/7 without any sort of solution in sight. Unfortunately, the desire to personally do something about this issue that will soon affect all of us is largely unmet. How can we make climate action simple, effective, and rewarding? Thankfully, there's Klima. With an affordable monthly subscription, Klima allows you to plant trees, promote green energy projects, educate you on climate-healthy living, and overall improve the lives of others around the globe. How does it do this? Klima makes it easy for you to go carbon neutral by calculating your carbon footprint in 3 minutes, fund climate projects that capture or reduce emissions elsewhere, and educate you on how to live sustainably. You can even invite friends to join Klima and track how your collective impact multiplies. Join me and go carbon neutral with Klima today to get 10 extra trees planted in your name. It's simple. Just click the link and enter my code to claim your trees and help me create even more content for you. Let's make the world a greener place together. There's 2 main books that I can kind of chalk up as being like important to me in 2021, and the first one is Steppenwolf by Hermann Hesse, and this was like a very fun book to read. It was about this like guy in Jazz Age Germany who doesn't feel like he fits in very well, and he's very like overly romantic and overly dramatic, and there's a lot of kind of Buddhist and like spiritualist realizations that he makes, and it's very kind of referential of Jungian archetypes and older mythology and just overall symbolism, and the writing was very interesting, and I don't know, I just found it to be quite a pleasant read, and the end of it was quite interesting. As for non-fiction books, there's this new book by Antonio Damasio about consciousness that I really enjoyed, and it's basically just his like summary of his own theory of consciousness, and he discusses like feelings and the idea of interoception, and I found it to be like a very easy read, and the sections were very brief, so it was super quick to kind of go through, very enjoyable, very pleasant read. I haven't been able to read too much this year because I have been super busy, and I really want to be able to read more next, or I guess this year in 2022. And then for movies, I wasn't able to see a lot of movies this year either, and I honestly think the only one that I saw that came out this year was The French Dispatch, which I really enjoyed, and I've seen it twice now. That movie was just art, and I really like Wes Anderson movies. I think all the actors and actresses did like an amazing job. The set design was amazing. The story was very interesting, and I think it definitely deserved like a second watch, just because the first time you're just hit with so much information and so much exposition, but I think he pulled it off. There's other movies I've seen that have came out in recent years, maybe not necessarily 2021, that I also really enjoyed and have stuck with me. I think the other one I'll just briefly mention is The Lighthouse, which was super scary. Well, maybe not scary, but disturbing and interesting. And the performances by Robert Pattinson and Willem Dafoe were amazing. And it led me to watch Robert Eggers' like other movies, so The Witch. Yeah, I highly recommend it. I can't get enough of sailors just alone in an enclosed environment, drunk for long periods of time. TV shows. The only 2 TV shows that I've really been watching this year were Cowboy Bebop, which didn't come out this year, but I watched it because the live action one came out. And I am the last person to watch anime, and I don't particularly enjoy the style, and I never really have, but there was something about the soundtrack and the themes and this kind of slow burning sci-fi flavor of the week kind of essence behind the show that was very interesting. Sometimes I couldn't totally hang in there with certain episodes, but I overall really liked it, and I come back to thinking about it quite a bit. Then again, I haven't been really watching a lot of TV. And for music, I mean, I think this is going to be a hard list for me to cover all of my favorite albums. I think Vince Staples' album early on in the year was amazing and perfect, and I listened all the way through. Call Me If You Get Lost was a really, really good album, and the themes behind it and the DJ drama contribution was very, very entertaining and really painted like a specific style to that album. I also really enjoyed Lil Sim's latest album. I think that the themes surrounding introversion and also social issues were very interesting, and she also has a very consistent sonic style throughout the project. And then the new Sufjan Stevens album was also quite interesting, and it has kind of references to like Ray Harryhausen and old stop motion animation, and there's something kind of nostalgic about the project, and I didn't find a lot of people talking about it. There was also the new JPEG Mafia album, which I kept listening to over and over again. He just does this perfect balance of experimental and hip-hop, and I don't even know what you would call it. It just always sounds very on the very edge of what music sounds like, and I really enjoy it. The new Beach House EP also, and the Remy Wolf album. I always enjoy her music, and I think she just gets better and better every release. And this whole album was just full of just amazing songs. So I would highly recommend checking all of those out. And then creators. So some YouTube creators that I've definitely been watching a lot this year. I always like just kind of the main ones that I'll listen to just for, or watch just for comfort, is Sean C. for music and Noel Miller just for entertainment. FD Signifier, I would also shout out. He made a very good video. I think it was called Break Bread, where he gives like a 2-hour, I don't know if it was 2 hours. It was very long. It felt like a lecture-worthy, like academic report on a bread tube and the history behind it. And also, in doing so, he gives like a very complex and insightful analysis of systemic discrimination and how the algorithm works. Also, I just found it to be like a very unique YouTube video. I haven't seen anything like it before. There's Anna Psychology. She just does numerous topics on psychology and both clinical, academic, and so forth. There's Alice Capel also. She does very interesting kind of thought pieces on social justice movements and also just social, cultural topics and so forth. It's a little hard to explain exactly what her specific niche is, but every time I see a video of hers, I tend to like it quite a bit. Amanda Amariana, if I'm saying that channel name correctly, she's the same as Alice Capel in that she's kind of covering these topics that not everyone talks about. She specifically talks about certain like social media trends and breaks them down and analyzes them on kind of a macro scale. I find that very interesting. And then there is House Cat, obviously, who is a consistent contributor to this channel, editor, animator, musician. who is also creating his own content on his channel, constantly releasing music that's like amazing. I just listened to his most recent album that I think he's planning to put out soon, and I think it's like one of his best. That is an awesome channel. Would highly recommend. There's Drag also, that I'm sure everyone knows. We've contributed for each other's channels a few times. He's very funny, and sometimes shows up in comments on my videos, and yeah, I think that would be kind of all of my favorite YouTube content creators. I guess finally there is favorite videos that I did this year. I would probably say it was the Naruto video, which didn't get a ton of attention, but for whatever reason I really liked researching it, because he's a very controversial, kind of problematic figure, especially in a modern context. I did always really like his like poems and stuff when I was younger, and then to find out what he did later on was a little bit disturbing and made me revisit a lot of his work. The other videos are these kind of collections of more personal ones that I've done. So For Her and The Desire to Simply Not Exist. Those were very cathartic to write, and I'm really glad that people really were touched by them, and I definitely plan to make more videos like that in the future, and as you can see, that's been kind of the direction of this channel as of late. So I think that kind of covers my favorite things in 2021, my favorite music, books, movies, so forth. Really didn't have a exact idea of what I was talking about going into this, just kind of, I guess, the things that sat with me most are the ones that I'm talking about now because I can remember them. I'd really like to know what you guys enjoyed in 2021. There was a lot of really great art and so forth that came out in 2021, and I'm sure there will be lots of great things to look forward to in 2022. So, thanks.